Well, the San Diego Chargers really let me down last week. I had backed the Chargers as 3-point home favorites against Atlanta, and that game was not competitive. Falcons taking control early and just blowing out the Chargers. San Diego didn't show a whole lot of fight in that game at home. I mean, obviously they got beaten by a better team on that day, but still, it was not the type of performance you'd expect out of a team that is planning on contending or that hopes to contend. And I did pick the Chargers coming into this season to win the AFC West. Thought a lot of people were sort of sleeping on this team coming into the season. Remember, just a couple of years ago, they were among the favorites to win the AFC, but it seems like after a bad year last year, 8-8 year, a lot of people sort of forgotten about them. Bettors remember, though, because even after losing this past game and, of course, not covering, Chargers still 6-2 against the number in the last 8 games. So they've been a good team to back recently. Now, they're only a 1-point road favorite this week in Kansas City. BETDAQ currently has the Chargers again as a 1-point favorite in this game, 44.5 the total. This game qualifies as suspicious. Suspicious, fishy, call it whatever you want it. We've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. There were several games like this last week where the team, the favored team, the road team, a team that you expected or seems to be better than the home underdog, goes in there and is a very short favorite and seems to be baiting you to bet on the road team, the favored team. I mean, to me, this game, San Diego -1 against Kansas City, it's almost baiting you to bet on the Chargers. I mean, it's -1 now on BETDAQ. This line is actually swung in Vegas. Kansas City's actually now a 1-point favorite. So the Chiefs are getting some love. So, maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe the line just feels like it's baiting me. Now, I am going to stay away because I am getting a feeling, an odd feeling, that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win this game. Now, I think the Chargers are a better team, and normally, what can I say? The last couple of days, a feeling has crept over me that the Chiefs are going to win this game. Now, that's surprising. I don't know if I can put words behind it, because if you took a poll last Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon of the football watching world, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and put you right in the middle of the third quarter of the 1 o'clock games, and you'd ask them who is the worst team in the NFL, a lot of people would answer the Kansas City Chiefs, because at that point they lost their 2 games in embarrassing fashion, getting drilled at home by the Falcons and then getting blown out by the Buffalo Bills on the road, and they were down 24-6 to the New Orleans Saints. I mean, that game appeared like it was going to be over. You'd have thought the Saints would have tacked on another touchdown or some more points anyway. And anyway, we all know what happened. Chiefs came back, sent that game to overtime, ended up winning the game. An incredible result. Ended up beating the Saints in the Superdome. I mean, now that's sent the Saints season into a tailspin, but is that what the Chiefs needed? Are they going to regroup now and be more the team that we expected them to be coming into this season? Because we didn't project the Chiefs. I mean, nobody did really project the Chiefs to be one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, how could you? They won the AFC West the year before last, and last year their 7-9 record. It's hard to think that wasn't due in large part to injuries. I mean, Jamal Charles, their best offensive player, missed most of the year. Matt Castle, their starting quarterback, missed a lot of the year, missed the end of the season. Dwayne Bowe struggled with injuries. So, free safety Eric Berry, one of their best defensive players, he went down with an injury early in the year. So Chiefs dealt with a lot of injuries last year, still finished only a game out of first in the AFC West. So I'm sure a lot of their fans were optimistic heading into this season and were really puzzled with the start, the first 2 games. But I'm wondering, and I just have a feeling the Chiefs might, coming home against an opponent they're extremely familiar with in the San Diego Chargers, after, coming back from the brink and probably winning that great game last week against the New Orleans Saints, I just have a sneaking feeling the Chiefs might win this game. Now, I'm not betting on the Chiefs because, again, I think the Chargers are the better team. Wouldn't surprise me at all if the Chargers won the game. I picked the Chargers coming into the season, as I said, to win the AFC West. So I probably think the Chargers are better than most people think they are. I mean, and I paid for that belief last week. This week I'm staying away from this one. The total is 44.5. You'd have to look for some points to be scored here because the Chiefs, even through their first 2 games, what was sort of hidden is they racked up a lot of yardage. They were, I believe, 5th or 6th in the league in total offense through 2 games, even though they've been blown out in both games. Now, some of that yardage was empty yardage, especially in that Buffalo game. Garbage time, they're way down and just sort of put some empty yards up there. But the Chiefs have shown the ability to move the ball. The Chargers, even though the offense played poorly last week, I still think this is maybe not an elite offense, but an upper-tier offense. I still have belief in the San Diego Chargers offense and Phillip Rivers. The Chiefs' defense has been surprisingly bad this year. That was the big head-scratcher after their 0-2 start is what's happened to the defense after being a solid unit last year, having nearly all their key playmakers back. Eric Berry coming back from injury. People expected them to be pretty good this year, but that didn't happen through the first 2 games and through the first 3 quarters of the last game. San Diego, on the other hand, has been surprisingly good on defense until last game. However, I do lean towards the over here. Again, both offenses shown the ability to do some things. Chiefs have played poorly on defense. Number is 44.5. If I was going to make a bet on this game, and I'm not going to, I do believe that my play would be on the over. Again, San Diego at Kansas City. San Diego a 1-point favorite right now on BETDAQ. Get in on this game if you haven't already.